Hello everyone, I'm Bunga Edria, and in this video I'm going to talk about the characteristic of young learners and how children learn. And I will begin with the characteristic of young learners. And the question is, who are the young learners? So the young learners can define as the children from the first year of formal school, and then it's around from 6 to 7 years old, and to 11 to 12 years old, they are called the young learners. So there are 7 characteristics of young learners that I'm going to discuss here. And the first of characteristic of young learners is children are energetic and physically active or kinesthetic learners. It's because children really like to move, and they mostly enjoying the things like games, play together, and then they are also love to touch things. It is because in this age they are preferred to, or they like to exploring a lot of things. And the second is children are spontaneous and they not afraid to participate. This is because young learners are much more willing to participate in activities, and they will talk about anything. They frequently ask because they're really curious. And we frequently meet with children around us, and they will ask anything, including share about everything they just seen or what they are doing recently, and even the random question they will ask to people around them. And the third is children are curious. They will ask anything because everything is new for them. The fourth is young learners are imaginative. Children are imaginative, which they like to hear the story, they like to see or watch kind of animation, and for this reason, it's better for the teacher to provide the realia in the class activities. The fifth is children are easily distracted and they have short attention. It's hard for young learners to focus in a long time, and for this reason, it's important for teacher to provide the various activity and also fun activities so they can't get bored. The sixth is children are egocentric, and for this reason, it's important for teacher to give the same change to each student, so they can showing up themselves, they can expressing everything they want to share with her friends or with their friends, and then they also can share their thoughts to their friends and others. Okay, for the last point, characteristic of young learners is that children like to imitate. They really like to imitate everything that adults show up in front of them. For this reason, it's very important for both of parents and also teacher to show up the good things, to show up the good attitudes towards them. And also, it's really important to pay attention to who they play with and pay attention to people around them. Okay, for the next point that I'm going to talk about how children learn. And in this part, I'm going to discuss about how children learn based on expert finding. And they are from Piaget, Vygotsky, and the last is from Jerome Bruner. For the first is from Jean Piaget. So Piaget was a psychologist and epistemologist who focused on child development. He developed a theory of human cognitive development known as genetic epistemology based on his interest in biology and particularly the adaptation of species to their environment. And also Piaget findings including the developmental stage of children, which the first is there is sensory motor stage, the second is pre-operational stage, and the third is concrete operational stage, and for the last is for formal operational stage. Okay, then for the next is about one of the best known theories in developmental psychology based on Piaget findings, that are try to work out how children thought and develop cognitively, and then children actively construct knowledge from their experiences from birth, and children try to make sense of the world through their action. And the next is there are 3 points of the implication. For the first is active learner, the second is active thinker, and the last is learning through experiences. The second is from Vygotsky findings. There are the zone of proximal development or ZVD, and the second is there are social cultural theory. Okay, the first is ZVD or the zone of proximal development was a key construct in Lev Vygotsky's theory of learning and development. The zone of proximal development is defined as the space between what a learner can do without assistance and what a learner can do with adult guidance or in a collaborative with more capable peers. And the second is social cultural. Vygotsky's social development theory asserts that child's cognitive development and learning ability can be guided and mediated by their social interactions. His theory, also called Vygotsky's social cultural theory, states that learning is a crucially social process as opposed to an independent journey of discovery. He expands on this by stating that a child's learning benefited greatly from being guided by a more knowledgeable member of the community, such as a parent or teacher. And the third is from Jerome Brunner. There are scaffolding. This is one of the Brunner findings, and Brunner believed that when children start to learn new concepts, they need help from teachers and other adults in the form of active support. To begin with, they are dependent on their adult support, but as they become more independent in their thinking and acquire new skills and knowledge, the support can be gradually faded. And another Brunner findings is about learning modes. There are 3 points in learning modes. There are inactive, iconic, and also symbolic. From inactive, it's which means that learn through movements and action. From the iconic is learn through images, and from the symbolic, it's about learn through abstract symbol. Okay, that's all the materials of the characteristic of young learners and then how children learned.